welcome all of Twitch. We welcome thee to the table of another exciting adventure of the Unbeaten Path. If you were listening last episode, you know that we had some major changes that happened. Um, no spoilers given here, but listen to the last episode. It was a real page turner, as they say. So we're excited to get rolling again for tonight's session. I apologize in advance for not posting last session on YouTube. We will be doing that shortly. But we're getting ready to roll here with tonight's session, and we'll have both up on YouTube shortly. Some housekeeping before we get rolling. We are continuing to do these every Monday night. So make sure to find us here Monday night for some good gameplay. After that, we're also trying to do some rotating video games on Sunday nights. So keep posted for that. And we may be dropping some stuff during the week. So it's best if you can remember to follow us on Instagram and Facebook. You can find me, Poo2. You can also check out our YouTube channel and check out this Twitch page. And a reminder to hit that follow button. So keep posted for that. We may be dropping. And I hear my voice, so I know I'm streaming. I'm here with the Poo2 crew. And I'm here, I think, with our DM, PS Zombie.
Hello.
Who has valiantly led us to the great beyond and back. So I'm going to let him kick us off from here.
Alrighty. Well, we're picking up from where we ended last session. Imagine that. In our last session, our brave party fought its way into a ziggurat in a jungle where they encountered Sister Rodell, who was an Avarial who seemed to have knowledge of our young Karos Faster, who is played by Battle Armor. She was very intent on killing our party, and indeed ultimately successful. The Undelivered, who you may remember from our earlier sessions, was exposed to be in the body of Alibaba, and it was ultimately unsuccessful in being particularly helpful. So, death did not seem to be the end for our party, though, as they found themselves in a place beyond, where they each had an encounter with a being of sorts who seemed to have some agenda for them. And after a brief conversation, they woke up in a lovely, cozy cabin, an inn-like place, where they had new boons, new powers, new physical aspects, which we will see the extent of, I'm sure, in the coming session and sessions. But upon awaking from their beds, meeting each other, and then heading downstairs, they encountered a very strange man with a stretched out face in a permanent grin, a very odd and even creepy looking man who greeted them with a little bit of a rhyme. And that's where we are going to start off. So I guess the literal last line said was, "You've met with a terrible fate, haven't you?"
And then I imagine we all sort of did a little heebie-jeebie jump out of our skin and seeing this awful man.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't think I described him as creepy enough, so I just wanted to really make sure.
Really reiterate that. Gee golly.
It's clear now.
Zoinks!
And you said...
Yeah, he's just the worst.
He was in a corner and there was somebody in a armchair, correct?
Negative. He was the one in the armchair.
He was the one in the armchair? Cool.
He was in an armchair that had its back to you at first. He's facing the fire, and he turned around when you came down the stairs. So he's a man in an armchair. He's still in the armchair. He's just kind of looking back at you, just his face poking out. It's kind of like, in the Gaston scene in Beauty and the Beast. It's like a very large red velvet, probably horns or antlers at the top. Like he's really leaned into the cabin vibe with this place here.
I mean, going based off the picture here, he literally does use antlers in all of his decorating. So
It's a
He
hunting lodge.
does.
It's basically a hunting lodge, right?
Yes, but I will say that what's not reflected in this picture, because obviously I can't draw and it's not catered to it, there are dozens upon dozens of portraits on his walls. The entire top, almost like a I can't think of the word, but almost like a runner. Pardon?
Cornice?
I'm not sure I know what that means. But lining the top of the walls and
Leave it to the
and down
architect.
I mean,
Ins-
that's what a cornice is.
I love it.
yeah, deadass.
A cornice.
Look it up, a cornice. Mm-hmm.
A corner.
Fantastic. Are portraits. These people in these portraits appear to be of all different races. They're in all different manner of clothing. Some in armor, some in fancy clothes, and nearly all of them are facing away. It's a portrait of the back of their head.
Weird.
Ew.
So it's a strange sort of scene. But yes, a cabin, many portraits of people's backs of their heads lining the walls, and this odd fella.
So
I'll go-
Amubis approaches and says, yes, but how did you know this? Did you bring us here? Who are you?
I am from my countries.
Yes, I did bring you here. I had some people to introduce you to. And he gestures up at his many paintings. Go ahead and do a perception check. Amubus.
Oh.
You can all do it if you want.
I like rolling.
He do gesture. Wow, Alibaba. Wow, Karos.
Our classic rolling the same number.
I
Yeah,
feel
come
so
on.
good after
Come on,
that
Amubus.
transformation.
Come on, Amubus. I'll tell you everything if you
21.
also roll a 21.
1, 2,
I will tell you
1.
everything in the entire
Just explain
campaign.
the entire plot. Sit by the-
If you roll a 21,
Come on, Blackjack.
I believe in you.
There's a 5% chance that you got this.
It
Oh my god.
Just keep going, Pete.
No, that's funny.
One of which was
Well,
21.
we'll count that 7. How about?
that's insane.
Yeah, so you don't get everything in the entire world. But yes, as you see where he gestured, there is Dryston, the human man who you saw in your afterlife vision, Amubis, and he is facing forward. And indeed, Alibaba, you see Reshva, the dragonborn woman who you saw in
looking
your
at me?
vision. Yeah, she's also facing forward, and indeed,
So
for
many
you,
creepy
Karos,
things.
Yvette is also there. Yeah, so they are all facing. Those 3 are facing forward, and every other portrait is facing backwards.
Interesting.
He stops there, just kind of smiling and staring in your eyes with his hand outstretched.
I go to the one I was talking to. I forget his name, and I just nod at the
Dryston.
painting and then look back at the smiling man and say, "Yes, we met."
Well, I hope it was as positive in its encounter as I had hoped it would be. I tried to construct, uh, mutually beneficial meetings.
You're so hopeful. What are you hoping for exactly?
I found in this world it's hard to make to influence it without making an impact. So I don't really care about the outcome. I'm just glad to take part.
Oh, so you're a lurker then. Hmm. Okay.
When you say this world, are we still in the path?
I would like to think that I'm off the unbeaten path. And he smiles in a very obnoxious way at his pun. I mean, he smiles in the same way he always does.
Same way, but it becomes
But
obnoxious.
you feel that in his intent in this time
Is this like an It smile? Like It, the clown from It?
Stephen King's It. Pennywise.
Or is this just...
do an insight check.
Okay.
Do an insight check for how Pennywise this is.
You can't get a read on it.
Okay.
I will say that you are not getting actively hostile vibes from him. He's not a tremendously large fellow. Like, he's maybe 5'6", very thin. He's mostly all smile.
So I'm wondering if you can help me with something, Smiling Man. I seem to be trapped here. I walk through doors and teleport to other places and then die and then teleport somewhere else. What is happening is how do I get out of this situation?
Oh,
Do you know?
the path will keep you as long as it wants you. The path needs heroes.
I see. Okay.
As for me, you're free to leave whenever you want. And he gestures at a door on the other side of the room.
I am not the first person that is going to go through that door.
Fair enough. It will return you to the path, but stay as long as you like.
I have bad experience walking through doors.
With my perception check,
Yes.
I don't think I have any idea what he looks like, but is the prince perhaps a portrait?
Good question.
Let me have a think. There are certainly no. That perception check was for looking at the portraits, so I think that's just fine to use that one. I will say that there are some portraits that do appear to be human males, which is what you assume the prince would be. I will say that in general, the people in the portraits tend to have a more mature and experienced look to them in general. There aren't too many that look young. There aren't too many that look vulnerable. These all look like capable adult sort of people. So you don't see anything that jumps out to you that this would likely be the prince.
Okay. Well then I will address the Smiling Man and I have many questions about the path. But one of which is is it leading us specifically towards our destination? Do you know that we're looking for the prince? Do you know that we'll find him if we keep going?
I don't know anything about your personal journeys. I'm more of a big picture kind of guy. As for where you go, that's up to you. The path is just a path after all.
So, did you and Amubis looks back at over the paintings and then back at the smiling man? Did you somewhat arrange these meetings or design them? Do you have some influence over this world? He kind of pans.
Mid you talking, he starts nodding very vigorously and looks super excited. Yes, I arranged the meetings. Did you enjoy the people I picked for you? I felt like they each had something to say.
Oh, it was a meeting to remember, and he kind of gestures to his milky eye. Left a mark, as they say.
Oh, yes, so exciting. Where is it now?
Is he talking about the sun? Where would the sun be right now?
You can look around if you want. You can do a perception check.
Okay,
Find that sun.
I'll find
Find that
the
sun.
sun. Ooh, maybe I won't find it. Maybe the path is like in a space dimension or something. All will be answered shortly.
The end or whatever.
That's my theory. We're in a pocket dimension. 18%.
Sweet.
Where's
So
that sun?
you begin by glancing at the ceiling where you just see wooden beams and you think this is stupid. And then you happen to glance down and you see down and behind you, kind of past where the door is, you see a very small glowing yellow dot. And it appears that you can surmise some hours before dawn because the sun, were you on the earth, would not be in the sky right now. It would be set. But I will say that the sun does appear smaller than you would remember.
We are far away from home.
What can you tell me about these portraits? I am seeing up at the cornice level of the room. What is happening? Some are facing forward, some are back. What? Did you do this?
I didn't do this per se. The path needs heroes. It needs people to walk it. And heroes are the only ones who can. And, well, let's just say the path, it gives and it takes. And these were people it was going to take from. But I thought I'd save a piece. They were just too exciting to let disappear. So I saved a piece of each of them. And every now and then I introduce people. Just to keep the memory alive, you know? Just people who were too fun to let go.
Yes, that
Yes.
is an interesting way to go about things.
Very.
Have you
If
seen
things
anyone else come through here? Human with a crown, maybe? No, he's missing his crown. And
A
I
young man.
describe the prince, basically.
Yeah, I don't know that you probably could have seen a portrait or something in the Queen's chamber.
Yeah, that makes sense.
See, I will
He's never
use
been
the
burned.
thaumaturgy and prestidigitation and make a hologram of his face perfectly
Yeah,
depicted.
prestidigitation could do that for sure. So almost like a cell phone sized image appears in your hand of the prince. Not like a 3D image, but almost exactly like in a portrait that you saw in the Queen's room. I think that's a very appropriate way to do it. And he kind of looks at it with his head cocked, and says, well, he's not in my portraits, and I've not brought him here, but he could be on the path. I haven't brought anyone here in a long time.
How long?
Oh, I'm sorry. Time doesn't quite work the same way in here. There's no meaningful way to express. But the people I invite here are the type of people that I'd like to see on my wall someday.
And when will we degrade to the point where we just become a picture on your wall? Are we losing something by walking the path? Is it? I
Oh,
know it's taking away from us, but I feel fairly fine after a night's rest.
oh, it will. You're a long way from that. It takes a lot of things going wrong for you to end up on my wall, and as long as you're doing your part, as long as you're walking the path, everything will be just fine.
Is what was the character we encountered? The lady. What was her name?
Mr. Rodell.
Yeah, I twitch. My eye like uncontrollably twitches a little bit, and I say, "Is Sister Rodell on your wall?"
Oh no, she's far from ever ending up here.
How so?
Well, she's doing her part, isn't she? As long as you're serving a purpose, the path will keep bringing you back.
I see.
Is she a hero?
She's No, she's not a hero. You have to adventure to be a hero. She's some sort of guardian or something. She doesn't have interest in leaving the spot she's at.
Let me ask you this: if you were to say you wanted to kill her and make her go away, um, how would you go about doing that? Just
Why would I do that?
um, this is hypothetical.
No, no.
Sometimes people have these hypotheticals, and okay, that's not going to work. All right.
Look, if you have a working cart, you don't take a wheel off. I like things going the way they are. I think you're very interesting, and I would like to follow your progression. But you have to take those steps. And I'm confident that my influence will produce the change I'm interested in.
So we died to get here. If we die again, will we come back?
Depends on how things are going. Like I said, time moves differently for me. So sometimes I might bring you here. Maybe you'll make it through the next time. I don't know.
Yes. From what I understood, the path was infinite. So I was expecting a death of a sort somewhere along the way if we didn't accomplish our goal, but if we did, we'd be off the path. Does the path want to keep us here?
Oh, it wants to keep everything inside. But there are ways on and off. It follows rules. The path is a creature of sorts. And you now become a part of it.
Wonderful.
But it's certainly not hopeless. If you want to leave, you can.
I wouldn't mind leaving eventually.
I'm sure you will. You just
This
mustn't
guy,
stop. If
he's
you
getting-
stop, you end up on my wall.
Oh,
Mm.
that's good to know. Are we safe here? You said we could stay here. Would we be safe here?
Well, yes, but there's nothing here. This isn't your role. That's a fast way to end up on my wall.
So you don't want to hang out? Okay, I get it. Dang,
No, I don't want to hang out. I want to watch.
Gross.
it's a little creepy. Okay.
Is there any more you can tell us about the path that might help us on our way? I am getting a bit antsy to walk it, but
What?
How
in
antsy.
a normal way.
we Alibaba and the
normal-
movement
Is
smooth.
this is there?
I am a perfectly
feel the
comfortable
need-
temperature.
Okay.
All right, battle armor. Fine, we'll get you the messenger. Jeez. I'm just kidding. um, um, I don't really know what to tell. Honestly, things from my perspective are so different. I wouldn't know what to say, what would have meaning. You're gonna have to be more specific.
Out of all the people you've watched, what do the most successful do?
They keep trying.
All right. Well, I suppose that's as good advice as any.
Have you ever walked the path?
Oh, there's no need. I'm not the type of person the path's looking for.
So
If you're not meant to be part of the system, you can't be.
how did you end up here then?
So I can be wherever I like.
Must be nice.
Have you heard of Santa Claus?
No.
Never mind. So
No,
if
he's
I
not.
open that door,
He
is there
says-
going to be some fog?
He says
looking-
no, and he nervously looks at the fireplace.
I was gonna say he like covers up a portrait of a jolly man. Or whatever.
Yeah, right. There's a red hat in one of the portraits. No, just kidding.
It's like Krampus.
You did get a natural 20. Santa Claus is definitely in one of the portraits. I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding.
Well, do you have any food here before we go?
If you like, it won't make a difference.
What does that mean?
What about
our,
the healing
our
potions?
needs are sustained here?
Well, what could you possibly need?
I mean, conservation of energy. I have to have some form of fuel for my body to work. I have to, energize my armor in order for it to work. I have to pour magic into it myself, and that requires some amount of energy.
If you please. He seems genuinely confused by this. But he does have a kitchen in his cabin.
All right,
It's somewhat paradoxical.
I'm gonna go back to his kitchen then and just have a little cook 'em up, make some hash for us, I guess, before we go.
Cool.
Like the food
Well, I'll
or
say-
the something?
I'd like
No,
some.
Not hashish.
Can-
What are you saying?
Hashed browns.
Oh, well, boring.
Waffles.
Well, I'll say in his kitchen you find remarkably fresh fruits and vegetables, fresh eggs, fresh milk. It seems like it was stocked this morning.
Chalk that up to general magic. And yes, I will make some various foods.
Terrific. Make a survival check.
Can do. Don't know if I'm
Survive.
any good at that. I am not. That's all right.
That's just fine. That's pretty good breakfast. That's a better than average breakfast.
Better than average.
There are waffles.
There are waffles, but it's mostly potato based because that's what I enjoy.
Yes,
And
I'll say
I'm
it was
making a character choice.
it was mostly whole foods anyways. There wasn't necessarily more processed stuff like flour, so potatoes certainly, tomatoes, eggs, any other type of veggie you'd want, any kind of spice you would want. But not so much dried spice, more like fresh herbs. It seems like it's all very, very fresh things.
Fresh herbs.
Cool beans.
Fresh herbs. And no fleshy meat. As in, there's eggs.
Eggs and milk.
Milk,
not
but no. Like,
Look,
pork
this
or
guy's
chicken.
creeping me out. Okay, I'd like to.
And he
Who wants-
is literally just standing there staring at you.
I have goosebumps all over my. I'm ready to get away from him.
Yes, I do think we should take his advice to heart and not stick in any one place for very long. Not only is it a good way to fall off the side of the world, but apparently end up on this man's wall.
And I will say that with your goosebumps, Alibaba, with your new scales, it makes them stand up, and it's a very strange and itchy process that you do not enjoy.
Well, in that case, I think Alibaba is going to go ahead and open the door and see what he sees on the other side.
You see a familiar mist, as you have
Familiar?
seen in so many other doors.
Dark Souls myth.
Dark Souls mist, exactly.
And
Right.
we do not have to do anything to this door for it
No.
to open.
It is a lovely normal door, just nice wood.
Well, I thank you for your hospitality, sir. I do imagine that we will end up seeing you again, assuming that we don't accomplish our goal before that. If you would like to see us again, obviously. But thank you for all you've done. I'm sure we'll get it eventually.
Oh, I have no doubt. You just need to keep trying.
Catch you on the flip side. I can't
know.
die. And then he steps through the door.
I don't know what that means. And he just waves.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Gentlemen,
Out the door.
there's something not right about him.
I think there are probably multiple things that are not exactly correct with him.
Deeply, deeply disturbed. Humanoid. I am deeply
so
disturbed
We
by
all
this whole situation.
head through that door.
Perfect.
If you like pocket dimensions, we could go into my lamp, be in a pocket dimension in a pocket dimension. Oh, never mind.
All right, so you enter through the bottom there. If you don't have to add your characters, but you may.
Will do.
You enter a familiar hallway, and you find, yes, this is indeed when you very first entered the path at the behest of the queen. This is the room you entered, where previously it was filled with wisps. You now see figures.
Should we do the same thing again?
Just immediately leave.
I'm not doing it this time.
Just duck out.
Tristan just tears up a page. It's like, cool.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Well, we'll end the session right there. No.
Yeah, Alibaba kind of steps forward and crosses his arms and looks back at the door and then just keeps himself from bolting back through it.
Yes, the door, you hear a siren song. As it calls to you. You want to
I
go
reach
through
my
that
hand
door.
out towards the door.
And Amoeba slaps it.
That's right. I was just about to say that. Just about to say that. That's so funny. Goodbye.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Whoops.
But yeah, what's about these various other people who are in here?
Yeah, so what do you want to do? Do you want to check them out? Do you want to walk over and shout hi? What's your interest?
I'll take a little sneak a peek without making ourselves known.
I turn to the other two while he's sneaking a peek and say, "Tread lightly. Everyone we've met here so far has tried to hurt us."
Very true.
Besides smiling.
22 perception.
All right, so yeah, you can do a quick perception check.
Yeah, that was the one that I just rolled. 22.
Well, fantastic. You see a total of 7 people in this room. There's 2 groups of 3 and 1 individual off on his own. The nearer group of three to your left up there, you see a dark-skinned man in black armor, with a half orc with dark gray skin. He's wearing kind of robes, but he's got files full of various fluids all strapped to his body all over. There's also a centaur woman, but she's not quite horse-sized. The top of her head is maybe slightly above average height for a woman, and her horse half is actually more akin to a deer. It's got cloven hooves. It's got more of a slight sort of figure to it. In the far right back of the room, you see a band, which consists of a pink-haired gnomish woman, a elvish man, and a tiefling drummer who are playing what sounds like a smooth jazz version of a hard rock song. Like, the lyrics are very scary and violent, but the tune is really chill and it gives a lovely atmosphere to the area. And then in the back left on his own, you see a very ambiguously a very ambiguous race man. He's got kind of bluish gray skin, sort of pointy ears, no hair, scarred up, and he's just got a huge collection of random goods with him. He's got bags around him. His coat seems to be full of stuff. He's got bits and bobs poking out everywhere, and he's just kind of hunched over listening to the music.
Now, my one question is, do I know who Huga is?
Go ahead and roll a history check.
All right. Ooh, I got a good history, but that's not fantastic.
Yeah, it's a pretty bad roll. Tough call. What do you do on DCs? Meets it, beats it, or do you go?
Yeah, I mean, it's usually meets it, beats it.
All right, we'll go meets it, beats it. They're a fairly famous band. After listening to the lyrics for a second or two, you kind of recognize it as a pretty common tavern tune, like one of the more upbeat ones, but definitely played in a different arrangement that you've heard before. So I'd say you recognize the song, but not necessarily the people singing the song. Like you know this is the song of a fairly recent popular band.
Much like
in a new
real
arrangement.
life. If I heard a song,
right? If you heard a Shawn Mendes song,
exactly.
Would you be confident that the young guy singing it was definitely Shawn Mendes? I don't know, but I know that Shawn Mendes song.
I would say I would not recognize Shawn Mendes if he said, "Hello, my name is Shawn Mendes."
Exactly, and that's the situation going on right
now. So Alibaba is going to look for the most valuable item in the room.
I'm going to say
a possibility.
Go ahead and I'll let you roll investigation for that. Because you're examining each person and seeing what looks like. So I'd say that the single item that seems the most remarkable to you, that seems like if you were to hawk it would fetch the best value, is the guitar that the Elven Man is using. It is a double-necked, like a double bass. One is a guitar and one is a bass. It has black diamonds as its I don't know what tuners are called on a guitar. The things you tune with. Is there a name for that?
Tuning pins, I believe.
Yes, it has black diamonds as its tuning pins. The bottom edge of it is sharp tuning pegs. Mm-hmm. Like a blade, but it is insanely fine craftsman in all black with gold strings. It's a very, very fine item.
Well, I can't play guitar, so not,
Has
not.
he walked up that far? Has Alibaba actually walked up that far?
Well, he said I examined everyone, so I kind of went in with it, thinking I confidently strolled down the center and just looked at everybody.
I will follow his initiative and just sort of be a step behind.
You see the human man in the group to your left there. He gestures you over, like excitedly. He looks.
I see where.
Can I
we're not
check
being
this
fair.
guy out before I get real close to him, see if he's gonna kill me or something?
Sure. You can do another investigation check if you like.
Okay. Okay.
Bad.
I just.
Well, you know what?
Great.
If you're checking if he intends to kill you, do an insight check. I'll let you reroll.
Okay.
Because investigation doesn't really tell you if he's going to kill you. All right, with 17, he looks genuinely excited to see you. You don't imagine that somebody who's intending to kill you would look this pleased. I mean, there's probably some people out there in the world who are like that psyched to see someone they can murder, but that's not the vibe you're getting off of him. So,
Hello.
yeah, so as you
What
approach
is-
him, he goes, I can't tell you how good it is to see someone else. I feel like it's been ages. Did you pass through here not long ago? I think I may have seen you.
Me? You probably may have seen my cloak as it came into the door and then rapidly exited the door.
Well, when you're not like synced with the path or whatever, everyone looks like wisps or I don't know, smoke or something.
Hmm.
But anyways, I saw someone pass through. I was hoping I might see you.
That explains all the wisps. Okay, from the last time.
Well, my name is Lucas. I've been walking this path for some time now, and it's been a while since I saw anyone.
So when you say you have been walking the path, have you felt a strange compulsion to do this, or you're just doing it of your own volition?
I mean, I'm stuck here. We all are, right? I've just been trying to get out, to be honest.
Me too. I am quickly realizing I bit off more than I can chew. And I want to get home to my children, but I don't know how to get out of here.
Yeah, I think we're kind of all in the same boat there. I mean, I don't have children, but yeah, the same idea.
You've been kind enough to introduce yourself. My name is Keros. We're just. I suppose everybody we meet here will be a group of adventurers, but that's what we are.
Amubus Calfit. I'm just giving.
Yes,
I am Alibaba. Well,
yes. Yeah. Well, as I say, I'm Lucas. This is and he gestures to the centaur, and she says, "I am native dancer, daughter of northern dancer, who wore the crown of Preakness. It's lovely to meet you." And then the half-orc man says, "I am Xanatos, and I am a bit of an alchemist, you might say. Haha." And Lucas says, "Yes, and I'm a knight of sorts, I suppose. I don't... it doesn't matter. I can see that you are also in a group of three, as I think that confirms it, that's how the path works."
So we cannot join up and the six of us try to escape?
I'm afraid not. It seems to be always three.
That seems to be how both the doors work, and we met a woman along the path who mentioned something about three being important.
You met someone on the path.
Oh yes, yes, a woman who was somewhat like me, and I'll spread my wings out. Um, she was quite adamant to stop us, but she wasn't in a group of three. I thought that was odd when she mentioned that you had to be. It seems like she's fulfilling a role in the path more than you or I.
Tell me that you didn't make it to the end, did you?
At the end of what? I mean,
What is the end? What is it? What does it look like?
Okay, so we've done a few expeditions now, and you can either go up or you can go down. And we believe that at the end of each path there's some sort of guardian or something.
well,
We've never made it to one of them, but Huga made it to the down guardian.
interesting. We haven't been presented with any branching paths.
Wait, which way did you go?
Straight?
Yeah,
No.
sort of straight as.
Sorry, there's two doors. There's the door there and there's a trap door in the back. Which one did you go through?
Oh, well, we sort of panicked as soon as we got here, and our compatriot Alibaba left immediately through the door we came in.
So you went through the door. We've never made it that far before. Who was there?
As I've said, a woman who was like me, she had some sort of mechanical guardian with her, and she had the holy power of my people's gods.
There was a ziggurat.
Oh, what now?
A
a-
large temple sort of thing.
Yes, pyramid.
Uh,
Is
Huh.
Alibaba also an architect? Because this is.
There's a lot of the ziggurats in the desert.
Wait, how many times have you trekked? How many times have you attempted the path?
Oh, this is our second round through. The first time we've been here, so I don't know.
Made it.
Is this a sort of reset point? I don't.
Yes, we call it the hub or the waiting room, whatever you want to call it. It's a place you go if you fail.
Yes, well, we did fail.
That's crazy though. You made it to the end. Do you have a messenger?
Yes, well, that guy.
I
Because
hope.
that's how Huga made it to the below guardian. There was a messenger from the astral plane that carried them. It I don't know. It does something. It reduces the number of rooms or something.
No.
Well,
Yes, maybe.
our
we know very,
messenger
very little about
probably didn't get to anyone. He probably stayed in the last room we were in.
So you think you did have a messenger?
Yes, okay. He was a messenger of sorts. He was big and fiery, you know?
Fiery.
Yeah, made of fire. The embodiment of pain and agony, you know.
Wait, what do you know about the path?
Very
Nothing
little,
really.
and I'm finding I know very little about my own companions either. What's this?
Yes, tell him,
Surely
Alibaba, please. Enlighten us.
Surely you remember the demonic flame entity that burst forth from my corpse.
No,
At the
if you'll remember, I died first.
Ah.
I don't know what happened to you after I departed.
well,
And
that happened.
as you mentioned demonic entity, this party of three kind of looks among themselves, like share kind of worried glances. A native dancer comes forward and says,
Demonic was a strong word, okay?
"It was the messenger that escorted you was not from the astral plane."
Most likely not.
More like the infernal
Probably
plane.
something like the infernal plane or the abyss, or you know,
And
one of them dark
Xanatos,
places.
the half-orc Xanatos speaks and says, "Perhaps if you're going up, the messenger comes from some plane below."
Maybe.
And Lucas says, "Yes, we know that Hugo was escorted by a being from the astral plane, and it helped them get to the below guardian. Maybe if you're going up, you need one from the other plane."
So how did they encounter their messenger? We
They encountered it in the path, I believe.
if if I'm correct, was this the same being that we fought that killed the king?
Wait,
I'm talking to my compatriots here because I don't know about the Undelivered at all.
So here's the deal, Karos. The undelivered. Since we're friends and all, he was a demon and he did kill the king. I don't know why, but I did agree to a delivery mission of sorts, and I was going to deliver him to someone in this maze, and he took residence inside of my body and gave me some extra powers, in exchange. Pretty typical, pact type of situation, and he uh, when I died, he burst forth from my body, and that's all I really remember from from before.
Horde.
Takes over your body, and Mubis
Well,
kind of
yes, but we
zones out and says, "It is unpleasant." Because you guys don't know what happened after like Ali. You guys don't know what happened after
yeah,
Alibaba
we was
dies.
bad.
So I just stare off for a while.
Well, yes, it sounds like we've encountered him outside of the path and brought him in with us. If that makes any sense. We know so very little about the path. Only what we were told beforehand by people who did not seem to know very much, and then what we've been told by people inside or connected to the path.
And speaking of things we don't know, have you seen a prince? And he does thaumaturgy, shows the little like portrait on his hand. Have you seen this person in your journeys?
um, Lucas looks at it and he goes, "I don't think so. He doesn't look familiar."
Okay.
I will say that there have been people come through that we couldn't see their face. Either they were wisps, and then we never saw them come through normally, or masks or helmets, and we never saw them again. The thing is, there's no guarantee you'll run into people in this room. It seems like cycles only sync up occasionally. Huga's taken to just staying here, but for the most part, the people who are walking the path, you're not guaranteed to run into anyone in here.
Hmm. Uh, do any of these people we're talking to, would we recognize them for being on Homeboy's wall or not?
I'll just say you all roll pretty good perception. None of them seem to fit any of the profiles that you saw in the portraits.
Okay, cool.
Let me. Lucas is going to say, I feel like if any of us are going to make it out of here, we need to compare notes. How did you get past the memory locks?
I assume that's the thing that sort of brings to mind something from your childhood or a previous memory. We haven't had much problem with that. You just place your hand on the door.
And you just took the damage?
Yes.
Well, yes.
There was
I mean,
no
yes,
other way.
it does hurt a bit, but
Ah,
so,
well,
Do you have 3 HP?
we might be able to help you with that.
Just kidding.
I have more than that, but Xanatos developed a method to get past it without taking damage.
Really?
wonderful.
I mean, it sounds fancier than it is. We just draw our blood beforehand and use it to activate the door.
Why didn't we think of that?
Oh, interesting. So you can sort of store up.
Pardon?
You can store up, or does it hurt less if the blood is being taken from you a different way?
No, you still have to take till it hurts, but you can rest it off. It lasts, I don't know, a couple of days. So if you can draw a significant amount and then rest off the damage and use it to open doors. That's kind of how. It's kind of one way we've been making it through. We've been doing this a long time.
Yes. How many rooms do you encounter? There were, I mean, only 3 before we made our way to, as you said, the Guardian.
We've done at least 5. We've never made it to one of the Guardians though.
Yeah,
we
paths have been slightly different.
Yeah, we're kind of doing it. We're trying to be methodical about it and really record what happens each time.
So
it's slow going though.
How did you all end up in the maze in the first place?
We were lured in by adventure, I guess, like anyone was. We heard that there was, I don't know, riches to be found, glory, magic, anything. We entered the path of our own free will, albeit at the behest of the king.
Oh,
and
so you are a part of Moradin.
Yes, we entered through Moradin.
Oh well, yes, I'm so sorry to tell you, but I feel your mission has changed somewhat, and you now might be on a similar path to us if you are still, citizens. The king was killed as he was announcing what all of this was to us and the other people who built it. An assassin came and stabbed him directly in the heart, and then turned into the creature that was apparently a messenger for the path.
This that may be worthwhile information for Huga, but this may come as a little bit of a shock. But through talking to them, we discovered that we entered here under King Cyril a good 300 years before your King Waldorf.
Wow.
Oh.
It's tragic to hear he died, but we were from the original entrance to the path.
Well, I'm sorry to say that your king has probably died a long, long time ago as well.
Indeed, this is to be expected. We were shocked to hear how much time had passed. It certainly doesn't feel like that for us, but I mean, if what Hugish says is true, then it seems like our entrance was at some point sealed and then perhaps reopened.
So is it possible that everyone we know is dead by this point? Well, probably not me, since elf, but
I mean, until somebody else enters the path, it's kind of hard to say.
That would be terrible for me. I have many children. I would not be able to live with myself if they were to grow up without a father. So
Well,
let's get out of here, okay?
Well, here's the thing. Look, It's not necessarily true because we went through a few cycles, me and Xanatos, with a third partner who he just didn't come back one day, and then we were kind of stuck here until Native Dancer showed up. But she's from our time as well, so I mean, it's hard to say.
That is an interesting way. It's possible it's completely dependent on the path's will, or maybe when the gateway shut, uh, the path became unsynced in time from the material plane, and perhaps there was some amount of untethering that time did not pass for you while it passed in the material plane, and then now that King Waldorf has opened up another portal, perhaps time is flowing the same again.
And Xanatos steps up and says, "That's what I've been saying." And he's sort of older and overweight compared to the other two, but um, both Lucas and Native Dancer are fairly young. But he said, "I believe that time stopped when the path was closed and then restarted when it opened again. So I think as long as nobody closes the path, you'll be safe to return at some point in your time."
That's wonderful, and I can't imagine we'll forget about you as we go out. I'm sure if we find a way out, we can figure out a way to. I mean, we'll certainly keep the path open so that more time doesn't pass, but we'll certainly try to save you as well, and Huga and that man with all the things.
Oh, he's not going to leave, says
Oh,
Lucas. Native,
that's,
Native Dancer then speaks up and she says, "I believe that the only way to leave is to make it through the path. I think you must go up or you must go down, exit, and if you wish to return, you must come back and exit again."
well, then perhaps information about the path is the most valuable thing we can help you with as well. It seems you've got us at an advantage here, but I'm sure we'll discover things that you have not. Um, do you know why the path happened to close? Was there something you were meant to be doing here that stopped being able to be done, or I'm not privy to the history of Moradin's involvement in the path.
Uh, Lucas just shrugs and says, "I honestly don't know. I didn't know it had happened until Huga showed up. Um, they're the first people I've encountered who were from your timeline. The name Waldorf clued me off. They also talk about him sometimes. But I couldn't tell you. We were just here seeking glory. We didn't know we'd be trapped in the way we are. We honestly didn't know it was going to be as hard as it was. We were fairly accomplished adventurers, and just can't seem to make it through."
Something to look forward
Well,
to. Amubus has been kind of quietly listening, but he starts to try to interrupt Karas a little bit and says,
hmm,
just to Karas, we needn't be field researchers for these party. Perhaps we can join forces.
yes, well, we can't directly join forces, and it seems they've been quite free with their information. So I think that is the way that we join forces. Is is we might not see them here every time, but it sounds like they're doing a good job of recording what they know. Perhaps we should do the same.
So, I have a game breaking plan for the three of you. Okay?
Okay.
And he pulls out the flask. Okay, now I'm going to open this flask. If you all go into the flask, and then I put it in my pocket, and then we go through the wall, through the door, maybe you will come with us. Just a. This is a pocket dimension, by the way. Okay.
Can other people enter here?
Oh no, I have to be level 5. Never mind. I am
Maybe later.
getting ahead of myself here. Okay. That's a level 5 thing. I forgot.
Yeah.
So be on your toes, DM. Level 5 comes.
Is that right?
Level 5, we meet the parents.
I think you
We'll
can.
look into that.
Yeah.
We'll look into that. I think Tasha's might have changed it. You might be looking at
That's 10th level.
10th level.
Wow. That's a long
Either
time.
way, they just kind of look at you like you're a little bit wackadoodle right now.
And wackadoodle.
We're like,
We-
hey, that's no stranger than anything else we've seen around here.
So, just to quickly compare, when we went up, we encountered a forest. Yes, it was this room, a forest, and then we went immediately to the room that had the large temple, the ziggurat. That was the one that we had the most trouble with. We were almost killed by some wolves that were there, but yes, that's what we've encountered.
The Sign Native dancer speaks up and she says, "You can't rely on what you see along the path. You just must keep walking it. Sometimes it's a forest, sometimes a shore, sometimes it's mountains. It will change."
But is there no difference between up and down? Is there any pattern?
Oh, Lucas speaks up this time. He goes, "There's a difference. It gets darker as you go down. I'll tell you that much. Lighter as you go up. This ziggurat, like I said, none of us have ever made it to it, but
It did produce light, yes. There was a large beam that emitted from it. It's possible that is what is the source of light in the path, perhaps.
I mean that, like I said, Huga's made it the farthest of us due to them getting a messenger, luckily, which we unfortunately have not. But down seems to go to the Underdark. That's what the Guardian implied.
Interesting.
So wherever up goes, did the Guardian mention where up goes?
Oh, yes. So my people are the Avarial. We live in a large sky city called the Erie, and from what I've heard, there is an entrance to the path somewhere in the sky, and uh, the woman seemed to imply that perhaps my people are in charge of protecting it, but I knew nothing about it myself. I wasn't a part of the clergy, and it seems she is. So perhaps they are tasked with it. So possibly in a Varial city.
I feel like that might make sense. We're on an Earth plane. There's some sort of sky plane, some sort of Underdark plane. Maybe going up and down. Depends on that.
Yes, that does make sense.
Perhaps,
Anyways,
perhaps we should travel up. The Underdark can be quite treacherous.
Well, I'm not certain my people would give us much more welcome than that if we merge from the path. If Sister Rodell is to be any indication, they're not welcoming to those who come through the path.
Xanatos at this point will approach you, Karos, and say, "Do you have an alchemist kit? Perhaps a healer's kit, something?"
I believe I can produce those quite easily. I'm not certain I have one on me currently.
Yes. I'll show you the process we use to draw blood. If if you'd like, for to get you past the memory locks.
Yes, that would.
They the memories, they get very bad very quick.
Oh, they were quite pleasant so far, but I'm.
You use up the pleasant ones pretty quickly.
Well, yes, that would be wonderful. Give me a moment to produce myself a tool, and we can exchange notes. So yeah, I'm gonna learn how to do that from Xanatos.
Cool. And I'll say, if you want to use your channel divinity, you can easily make everything you need to.
Indeed. Let me just double check that I've got the right tool for the job, but that is tool, not.
I mean, yeah. I don't know exactly what the difference is, TBH.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and channel divinity because it's artisan tools. I think are a particular thing. So yes, I will channel divinity. Also, I will be.
All right. Yeah. So we'll say over the course of an hour, we'll say it's part of a healer's kit. It probably makes the most sense for drawing blood. So you'll gain a healer's kit and additionally the knowledge of how to draw blood in a way that's compatible with the doors, based on Xanatos' knowledge. All right. Have I lost you?
No, still here.
What?
Pondering
Oh,
the
okay.
vastness of the unbeaten path.
I thought I'd
Yeah, Alibaba's just over here listening to the
dropped out or
music.
something. Yeah. If y'all would like to do anything else, if you have any more questions.
I'm just not sure if we're at a transition point or, for the night or what.
I mean, it's whatever y'all like. There's still the guy off on his own. There's still Huga you could talk to.
We go
You
check
could
out
head
this
down the
weird guy.
path.
Kind
Sound
of
good?
been listening to the music, and I saunter over to this guy with a confident insight check, see if he wants to kill me.
Competent
And,
inside check.
You've got no idea as usual.
Well,
Yes, this is a shady fella, and he certainly might want to kill you.
Back. Sorry.
hello, what are you doing over here by yourself?
Ah, yes. Have you anything for me to use?
Probably not.
Ah, then why do you speak to me?
What do you need?
Well, I want the same things the path wants. I need resource. You know?
Let me check my bag.
I need currency. I need inventory.
I have 15 gold pieces that seem useless to me now. Would you like these?
Bah, gold, bah.
Okay.
Gold, bah. Bah. I don't need gold. Where would I spend gold here? Do they want gold? And he gestures at the band. No.
What about a little bag of sand?
Sand? Do I want sand? No. Where would I spend sand? There's no sand here.
Fine, then I don't stop wasting my time.
I need the same resource the path needs.
Which is what?
I need life. Have you any
To
for
get
me?
a life? Is that what you're telling me? I know you're in the corner by yourself. I can help you. Just go talk to the other people. Okay?
What?
He's just shy.
I don't know how to give you life, okay?
They all talk to me when they need something. You see, I have channels outside.
Really?
And he kind of stares you at with one bug eye, just sort of. And like this guy, honestly, like at this point, you're torn between him being a deep gnome, some sort of hunched over half orc, a Vedelkin. Like he's got bluish gray skin. He's
Right.
missing almost all of his teeth. He could, at this point, it's all up in the air. He could be anything.
Well, I'll keep my eye out for some of this life you talk about.
No, you can't carry it in your hands, can you?
I guess not. How am I
Okay.
supposed to give it to you then?
Fine, give me your gold.
He flips him a gold coin.
1 gold coin.
You want them all?
Bah.
Here, take them. What can I do with the gold coin?
Okay, yes. Give me all of your gold.
Here. He gives him 15 gold pieces.
Terrific. I will make an investment in you, but you'll have to bring me life from the path. And he pulls out of his cloak a medallion that's a metal sphere with a glass interior. And he hands it to you and says, when they built the path, they asked you to bring things, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
Yes, I know. I saw.
Pretty simple things, nothing like life itself.
Is that what they told you?
Yes.
Have you seen life in the path?
I saw some trees and a flying woman, yes.
Then they put life in the path. Sacrifices must be made. You want flesh, you give flesh. That's how it works.
What do I do with this?
You go on the path, you walk it, you kill things. This fills up, you bring it to me, you buy things. It's that simple.
Sounds good.
Pleasure doing business. And don't come around empty-handed next time.
Okay. Wow, this worked out.
Anubis was kind of watching that interaction and kind of saunters up to Alibaba and goes, "How was the negotiations?"
He made another pact.
What negotiations? We're just talking. He is a merchant of, and we kill things, and then he pays us. Pretty simple. No pacts, I promise. Nothing, no pacts of any kind were made.
Who said anything about packs? I was just wondering if he had anything to barter with.
I can tell, Amubus, that you're thinking about it.
And the merchant from behind Alibaba says, "Oi, if you die, pass it to him."
Okay. I will do this, but I don't think I'll be dying, so. I've already done that before, so. By the way, what happens if we all die? Will we be able to give this to you? No, we won't, so. You better hope we don't die. Goodbye.
I have my ways.
Hilarious.
Anything else y'all want to do?
I wouldn't mind talking to the band. I don't. Do they have like a set that they're playing, or is it?
They're more.
Be rude to interrupt.
I mean, they don't have an audience or anything. They're just kind of more having a jam session. The lead singer is a pink-haired gnome woman, and she's playing a hurdy-gurdy, which is a kind of like a violin, but with a drum to strum the strings rather than a bow, and you turn it with a crank handle. the tiefling band is playing a small drum set with just a few, like a bass, a snare, a cymbal, a very stripped down drum set. But when he breathes out, it's like smoky, almost like as if he's vaping, but it's with every breath. And then the elven man is a very androgynously beautiful man. It's still masculine in form, but he's playing his guitar, and he has a mage hand playing the second. Well, it's holding the frets of the second neck, and he's strumming both of them. It produces a sort of haunting sound. It's definitely a melancholy song they're playing. But yes, they're not playing for any audience, so it just seems to be a casual jam session.
Let me see if I can pull these names again. It's Tansy Dancer. Is it Tandy Dancer, Klaus, and it's that place in Alabama, but I can't remember. The name.
It's two places in Alabama.
Two different places in Alabama. All right.
Montgomery.
Craig, do you remember? Do you have any idea? Who
Yeah. Joel probably has no idea at all. This is
what I'm talking about.
This is the very first session that
That's it.
that
I thought
me
you were just making up names and he was using them.
This is from the very first session that me and Craig and my sister Sophie, Craig's wife, and Soundproof DM'd for us. It was the band we made. The theme of it was that we were a band, and
Combat was done.
No combat. It was just all a roleplay session. But anyways, I always swore that I'd include them in a campaign one day.
Oh, that's cool.
So here they are.
I like them all.
But yes, Tansy, Hadrian, and Jemison are the band.
All right. Well, I will go up and sort of lean on the pillar to make myself roughly known that I would like to talk to them at some point, whenever they finish.
They'll Tansy will go ahead and stop playing, and everyone's paying attention to you now. They're just playing very soft background noise, like when like in church when pastor's praying and the band's playing like very mild tune in the background, kind of like that. And so the gnomish woman says, "What you want, sweetheart?"
Hello. My name is Karos. We're new to the path, and we had heard that you had some experience with it. Perhaps you have also been escorted by a messenger, and I wanted to exchange notes about yours. We apparently got it on our first run through, which sounds rare from what I've heard.
Oh, I don't know. We kind of gave all that up a little while ago. But yeah, Hadrian here, he's kind of addicted to making deals, and he had a messenger with him. And Hadrian kind of like shoots her eyes over, looking like a little nervous and shocked that she knows about that. Oh, shut up. Everyone knows. And he just kind of keeps playing softly and looks sheepish. Oh, you're not going to talk now, huh? Yeah, we made it all the way down to Narungwe, but you know, we just none of us are really frontliners. We're headliners, you know.
Yes. A warning, if I might. We've heard that the path doesn't like those who don't try. This isn't coming from me or anything like that, but I've just heard that the path has a way of getting rid of excess people who aren't serving a purpose. Are you safe?
Oh, I don't know about all that. Look, we're not made for fighting, all right? We're made for playing music, and at some point, you just got to do what's you know.
I do respect that. How did you come across your messenger, if you don't mind a little bit of giving us information?
Uh, I'll let Hadrian tell you. It was not as exciting as it sounds. And the elvish man, still kind of sheepish with his hair in his face, says, "We were in the first room, and there was, well, we saw it was a Aarakocra man, but he had died, and he had in spirit in him, and it said it would take us to the end, so I said I would house it. Next thing we know, we are down underground in the Ungwe's lair, and he killed us. I don't know."
That doesn't sound too dissimilar from.
Don't mind him, he's an idiot.
Well, I appreciate your information. Do think on what I've said. It might be worthwhile to have an attempt every now and again, just to make sure that the path knows you're not completely out of the game. I do love that song though. Wings Don't Fly, wasn't it?
Oh, you're familiar, are you? At least you're not like these other ones. They're not from our time. They don't remember.
Yes. Another thing about our time. I'm sorry to tell you this. I don't know how much fondness you had for the man, but the king is dead. He was murdered. Sort of
Oh,
the inciting incident for us being here. We're looking for the prince. So if you happen to see the prince around, do let him know to just sort of stick here, and I imagine we'll find him.
oh. Yeah, I think the prince was already gone when we went. It's sad to hear the king's dead, though. He was such a sweet guy.
He did seem
Such a
fairly
sweet boy.
nice.
He was. Anyways, we were just looking for the bathroom and we ended up in here. But I've played worse venues, honestly.
Well, yes, I think the path might take care of all that. So feel free to just have at it. I imagine it's taken care of by now, but
Well, look, if you find a way out of here, I wouldn't mind leaving. So just
yeah,
let us know. But
keep you.
those other guys have been trying for who knows how long, and they have not found a way out yet.
Yes, it doesn't sound very reassuring, but thank you. I appreciate it, and we'll pass on any new information we gather and such, even if you won't use it immediately. Yes, thank you, and I'm gonna walk away.
They resume their playing.
Does it look like anybody around that I could barter and or trade with?
You got ye old shady merchant.
Give him some blood.
I don't know if I want shady merchant. That's more Alibaba's thing.
Yes, well, that um, I don't have any of his currency to buy anything with right now. I have to go kill something first. And unless you want to kill some people in this room, um, we don't have anything to sell, to buy with.
Fair enough. Okay. So I think Amubis isn't really.
So, talking back to my companions, what are we thinking? just general check-in. It's fairly obvious that we do have to keep moving at some point. We seem fairly safe in both the inn and here. I would like to get moving at some point. Maybe we can take a little
Yeah.
break here or something. But up or down?
I would vote up.
Oh.
Here's
See,
the
I
thing.
was thinking down.
We know we can't handle Sister Rodell. There's a possibility that, I don't know, maybe whoever's down below is allergic to metal or can be, smoked a lot easier. I think we're at somewhat of a disadvantage against Sister Rodell until perhaps we can gain some aerial superiority or better things to deal with her various I don't know, radiant ways. So
I would.
I'm not.
Go ahead.
Oh, I think getting out of the path will be safe enough either way, but I do agree the Underdark is not perhaps the greatest end destination, but at least we'll be out.
I would very much like to meet the sister again, and Muba starts like cracking his knuckles a little bit.
That is fair. We could give it another shot now that we know what's the what.
Karos is a man of
All right. Well, we've got one.
science. As a man of science and engineering, you probably know that I'm just guessing. I'm clergy myself, but wouldn't it be easier to go towards an area that we know and that we are familiar with, and that we can test again?
Yes, better the
I
devil,
mean,
for
if we are even given a choice,
That is fair.
who knows what will happen.
From what I understood, we could go up or down from here, but yes. Why don't we have a quick look at both options before we go making any bold decisions? So I think we should have a look at both the trap door and the regular door.
And there's
Yeah. So
go. I was just
what's
gonna.
up?
I was just gonna ask the crew before you say that. I was just gonna say, and there's no chance of teaming up or asking others to come with us. And I kind of gesture around the room.
From what I've understood, it seems like only 3 can travel along the same.
If you want to specifically address one of the parties or the other, you may.
I
I
guess
mean, you can ask them.
I'll
They're going to
wander.
go through the door.
I'll wander back over to the 3 we were talking to originally.
Yeah.
And
Lucas, native dancer, Sanatos.
I kind of go over to Lucas and I say, my comrades and I are beginning to head out, try the path again. Any chance that you would want to travel with us? Maybe make many hands light work, as they say.
I wish it worked like that, but we've tried it before, and only 3 people make it through those doors. Whoever's left, it just ends up back here. 3's the most you can get through.
That is.
I'm sure you've seen the doors. They seem to, I don't know, assign you a role or something. I've gotten the, what is it, the circular maze, I don't know. Native Dancer, the triangular one, and Xanatos, the rectangular one. I'm sure you've seen it all.
Yes. And
it assigns you some sort of role. I don't understand it really.
And you can't continue in right after another party.
No, it'll be a completely different room.
I see. All right, then.
Each attempt seems to be its own, I don't know, progress. Look, if you're going to leave, I would suggest at least resting here for tonight. You can draw your blood, rest and recover the damage you take. The room across from us is not taken. You can feel free to shack up there.
It's not a bad.
You still take the damage from the drawn blood. You have more opportunity to heal it off.
Fair. I will thank you for your kindness and your offer. He gives a bow. I will talk to my comrades, and we will.
Yeah, and we could theoretically mix up parties, but if you made it all the way to the Sky Guardian, I'd probably stick with the parties we have. Plus, we're used to it. If you get hungry, Native Dancer can supply us with food, and she produces a little bag that has good berries in it.
Good old berries.
Is she
But yeah,
giving
just
that to me?
let
Or
us know.
okay. Is
Just if you need it,
okay, gotcha.
you can go to her for food.
Thank you kindly. And Anubis like bows and wanders off and meets back up with Karos and Alibaba and tells them kind of what he just talked about. And
he's not wrong that staying here the night might be a good idea. I can produce our blood and give us a little bit of a buffer.
very well. I think that's the most prudent move at this time.
Cool. But yeah, I'll go ahead and just do that now so that we've got time to rest it off, and I will perform whatever act is required to pull the blood from us.
Yeah, so it's like it's much like giving blood, and you can kind of take as much or as little as you'd want. Not knowing how many rooms it would be, you might just want to just take all you can without dying, and rest off said damage.
So it is
So basically up to one less than your hit point total. You can draw blood from each of you.
okay. Cool. And it's 3 HP per, or is it 4 HP this time?
You don't know.
Do not know. All right. Well, so we will just grab like essentially 35 HP worth of blood, essentially for me, since I've got 36 and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Same.
I donate 30. I'm not as HP'd.
All right. So 35 for both me and.
Alibaba's gonna have to do 34.
Oh, okay.
See, I'm gonna metagame and use my temporary hit point spell.
To get an infinite amount.
Well, if you recall from the door, it temporary hit points did not affect it.
All right, you're right.
It's from your hit point total. Because it's a physical blood, I think something like false life doesn't produce blood per se.
It's like a virtually comatose in this big room surrounded by people.
Yes, you certainly get very sleepy after that.
Yeah, taking out all but like a pint of blood.
Anubis doesn't like needles.
I ate several Little Debbie snack cakes afterwards.
Yeah, so like Lucas said, you can go to that room to the right there to retire for the night, which they will also. Hugo goes to this room. The shady merchant stays where he is because he's shady.
Sits there watching all night.
You can see their names, right? I got those up there, right? Cool.
But yeah, I think we'll take a little slumber.
That might be a good
A longish rest.
Place to sign off there, DM.
Yeah, that's fine. That way you can consider where you're going for next time.
That's the moral of this story.
So less of a cliffhanger than last time.
Always a new trip on the path. I think will probably end up being where we end a lot of the time.
That's true.
Unless you want to end actually entering the path.
Sounds good.
Yeah, that's a good cliffhanger to end on. We need to give the Twitch something juicy to
To sink their teeth in.
salivate over till next time.
It sounds like Amubis is pretty dead set on punching Sister Rodell in the face again. So
Yes, he has been personally offended, and he doesn't forgive and forget easily. Let's just put it that way.
I'm not. Yeah, and that sounds good to me too. So I'm gonna at least check out that door. Check out the door upward.
Alibaba
Alright.
is gonna follow. He doesn't really care that much whether we go up or down.
Cool. So the door up is actually down on this map. Like it's out the door you entered, while the other trapdoor, it's not necessarily featured on this map, but it's in the other direction. It's in the up sort of on this map.
Right on. So yes, I will move myself ever downward. What do I? Just a normal memory door.
No, this door doesn't require anything, so you can step onto the path as you please.
As we please, indeed.
Shall you all?
Yep.
We
I think I will
shall.
enter first.
All right. So as you open the door, you see the Dark Souls mist of the entrance, and you see the group of three: Lucas, Native Dancer, and Xanatos, kind of waving you off, be like, "Good luck." Oh, and like last thing, I don't know if you saw it last time, but not all of the rooms are combat rooms. I don't know if you encountered one of the stranger rooms in there.
Other than the shrubs that seem to engage later, no, we kind of fought everything.
Yeah, there was one where we were like a caravan, and it was a little bit ambiguous, but I think the goal was to get the caravan intact somewhere. Anyways, we ended up failing and dying. So
Oh,
it seems like some of the goals are not quite so straightforward.
that's good to know. I would have just tried punching it.
Yeah, I don't know. It seemed like there wasn't really anything to fight, so we just had to get somewhere. Anyways, we couldn't keep the caravan alive long enough, so we just sort of failed after a little while. It's hard. If you mess up, you just sort of die. You've seen the crumbling rooms, right?
Yes, I did notice that.
Yeah, that's
particular-
what happens when you don't do the right thing, basically.
The whole ground gives out. All right.
Anyways, good luck.
Thank you for the advice.
Thank you.
Hopefully, we'll see you again.
Yes, I hope we sync up. It's far more convenient when we can compare notes.
I'll make sure to keep a good record of what we encounter out there, so that perhaps you might be more prepared next time.
And as for you. And you step through the door and find yourself not in a jungle as previous times, but you find yourself in an arid, red-stoned desert-like area. And your characters will enter from the top right part of this area.
It's wonderful.
Indeed, a Badlands. Yes, a very familiar climate to our Alibaba. And as you enter this arid desert, in the far, far distance, you can see just the tippy top of a very distant pyramid. And that's where we'll end our session.
Yay!
Cool.
We're in Egypt.
Something like that.
Well, I'll go ahead and wrap up. Thank you, PS Zombie. Thank you all, fellow listeners and viewers. We will be getting this up on the YouTube channels in a couple days. Be on the lookout for that. Of course, you can always come back to Twitch and find the recordings of these great podcasts or great streams of Dungeons and Dragons. We will continue the Unbeaten Path next Monday, so please come back for that. A reminder to hit us up on the follows, hit us up on the chat so we can hear from you and get to know you. We look forward to seeing you on Monday, and hopefully we'll also have some good content rolling Sundays, so be on the lookout for that as well. Everybody have a great night. Stay safe during these crazy times, and stay happy, stay healthy. Good night.
Bye, Twitch.